Hello, and welcome to the Class of 2020 Commencement Ceremony. Good evening, Superintendent Osborne, School Committee Chairperson Schlerman, School Committee Vice Chairman Curran, School Committee Member Margaret Larson, Associate Principal Holtz, Assistant Principal Milch, other honored members of the Hampshire Regional Faculty and School Committee, alumni, family, friends, and most importantly, to the Class of 2020. It is an honor to host this unique commencement ceremony. My name is Kristen Smitty, and I am the principal at Hampshire Regional High School. Tonight, we have many reasons to come together and celebrate, specifically the 119 specific individuals that make up the Class of 2020. Please welcome Victoria Burnett to perform the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets would glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Victoria. Next, I would like to introduce April Warner, the Class of 2020 Vice President, to formally welcome you this evening and to share some remarks.
Good evening. My name is April Warner, and I'm the Vice President of the Class of 2020. I would first like to thank you for virtually joining us to celebrate the commencement of the Hampshire Regional High School Class of 2020 and for all the support you have given us throughout our time at Hampshire. Whether we attended Hampshire for 6 years or only one, we have always known that our families, teachers, administrators, coaches, and fellow classmates were there to support us and to see that we succeed. We truly would not be where we are without you. The end of this year has been a challenge like we've never known. We've had to adjust to remote learning, take our AP exams online, wear masks wherever we go, and now here we are, together but not together, on one of the most important days of our lives this far, graduating on YouTube. Unfortunately, we missed out on many memorable senior year events, like prom, the senior trip, and senior skip day. But hey, at least we didn't have to take finals. Although those opportunities were stripped away from us, I believe it has taught us not to take anything for granted. Over the past several years together, we have made countless memories that we will never forget. I could tell you everything that I love and will miss most about Hampshire, but being approximately 0.83 repeating % of the population of our class, I don't think I can cover it myself. So I turned to Instagram for help. Lauren Huffnagel enjoyed Spirit Rally every year, as well as taping various teachers to the wall. The Chicken Wraps, Mac McFadden. Kyle Montague enjoyed Spirit Rallies, especially the one where we brought the horns. Sneaking out with the boys to go to their senior send-off in the parking lot when I was in 10th grade, Mason Willard. Going to Washington, D.C. in 10th grade. It was so beautiful and all the museums were so cool, Alex Zimmerman. When the pipes burst and we got to go home, LOL, Lauren Huffnagel. Hanging with Miss Regan and her special snack drawer, Rebecca Pierce. Some of my personal favorites occurred virtually. For example, in the final AP Biology Zoom of the year, Miss Seymour had a llama dressed as a unicorn from Idaho crash our class. Or at the final AP Spanish Zoom, right after the exam, when we looked at hashtag AP Spanish on Twitter, with Miss Branch, only to discover that Alex Zimmerman was not the only one who swore after he thought the recording had ended. Although difficult and often frustrating, our responses to these challenges have proven time and time again that we are able to thrive in the face of adversity and overcome anything. As we enter the next stages of our lives, whether it be attending college, joining the military, entering the workforce, or taking a gap year, I know that we will be able to succeed. I wish you all the best in everything you do and hope to see you in person at our August ceremony. Thank you and congratulations to the Hampshire Regional Class of 2020. Up next with some remarks, Class Secretary Anya McDonald.
Hi everyone, and congratulations to the graduates of Hampshire Regional High School. It's been a long and arduous journey for all of us, and I think after 4 years we're all about ready to complete our time here. But there are many, many people from HRHS and the surrounding communities who have helped us to get where we are now. Before we all leave and go off to pursue our dreams, I'm here to issue a few thank yous to people who have facilitated or improved our high school experiences here at 19 Stage Road. First and foremost, thank you to our administrative team, Principal Kristen Smitty, Associate Principal Lauren Holtz, and Assistant Principal Karen Milch. I truly admire your brainpower, teamwork, and leadership. Let us not forget that for every student who does not have internet at home, Ms. Milch has printed out all of their remote learning assignments and driven them to their house. In the past few months, you three have had to make difficult decisions for the good of your students, your employees, your families, and yourselves. And in my opinion, you've done an incredible job. I'd also like to thank former assistant principals Mark Biagini and Mark Folta for their leadership while they were administrators during our time at Hampshire. Thank you very much to the West Hampton Board of Health for keeping us all safe during this pandemic. They as well have had to make some very tough decisions, and their guidelines have benefited not only the West Hampton community, but the communities of all 6 towns whose children attend Hampshire Regional. Thank you to the custodial staff at Hampshire Regional for their work in keeping the school clean and healthy, especially over the past months. Out of all the schools I've visited, Hampshire Regional is and always has been by far the cleanest. I believe that students and teachers alike do their best work when they can take pride in their surroundings, and our hardworking custodial staff make it possible for us to reach our full potential in this building. Thank you to our class advisors, Ms. Tonya Aitken and Mr. Stephen Croft. They both have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to plan our class events, letting no detail fall by the wayside. Ms. Aitken takes very detailed notes at all of our class meetings. She has a whole file cabinet full of notes, senior trip brochures, RIP to that, prom menu options, companies' quotes on caps and gowns, and everything else that we've needed to make these past 4 years great. And furthermore, every time 2020 Student Council has ordered something, whether it be senior t-shirts, caps and gowns, prom decorations, whatever else, it has gone to Mr. Croft's house. With all of the dances we've held, like Dollar Tree probably recognizes his and Miss Aitken's faces by now. At least they should. The two of them have done so much for the class, and high school would have been much less exciting without their hard work and creativity. Thank you to all of our teachers for working so hard for us students, especially in the past months. Remote learning has been hard for many students, but I know from my dad's testimony that remote teaching is even harder. I think Hampshire's teachers have done fantastic jobs of making the switch. In addition, I have so many stories about Hampshire teachers going above and beyond for their students, like the time Miss McHale stayed after school with me until 7 p.m. to help me on an essay, the time Mrs. Bush brought me coffee from her home because I needed help on an essay, the time Mrs. Sullivan gave me a hug when she found me crying in the hallway over another essay, and the time Mr. T. Smith took a failed physics test off my grade because I knew I was stressed out over multiple other essays. I could go on for hours about the nice things I've seen Hampshire teachers do just over these 4 years, and I don't know a single person without at least one story like the ones I mentioned. To all of you, whatever subject you teach, thank you so much for all that you do. I'd also like to thank our guidance staff, on whom I personally rely a lot. I trust Miss Sheila Hawk with my entire life, and she probably knows more about me than anyone else. Thank you to Mrs. Sarah Petrazak, the guidance counselor for our class, for fixing our schedules. I know there's no way I could do that for an entire grade. Thank you to Ms. Amy Scully, our college and career counselor, for mailing our transcripts to whoever needs them, and overall for guiding us toward our futures. Thank you to Ms. Sarah Jablonski for listening to us complain every morning, and thank you to Mr. Jan Sniffen and Ms. Hawk again, our adjustment counselors, for essentially solving all of our life problems for us. And the same goes to Ms. Leslie Giordano and Ms. Julie Woodbury, our school psychologists. Thank you all, and congratulations to Ms. Giordano on retirement. My final thank you is a more personal one, and it goes to the entire HRHS class of 2020. Many of you know that I have a neurological disability called misophonia, which makes the sound of throat clearing cause me pain similar to the sound of about 17 people scraping their nails on a chalkboard at once. It is painful and exhausting, and it limits the places I can go and the things I can do. However, thanks to my classmates, it does not limit my learning or my participation in school activities. 2 years ago, our class was in the cafeteria signing up to take the PSATs, and I was sitting across the table from one young man who was in a different social group than me. I didn't even think he knew my name. But he cleared his throat, and he immediately looked at me and he said, "I'm sorry, Anya, I didn't mean to do that." You guys, that's awesome. I have never had more respect for Mustafa Kokaman, or for anyone else, than I had for Mustafa Kokaman on that day, and it was because of the respect that he showed for me. And he's not the only person who has helped me make it through high school with this disability. In every class I've taken in high school, with more people in our grade, hardly anyone has cleared their throats, and it happens sometimes, but far less here than it does out in the world. To everyone who has ever refrained from clearing their throat when they are around me, thank you for making it possible for me to live and learn equally with the rest of you. And thank you so much to my friends who tell others about my disability. I rely on the kindness of others to make it through the world, and I truly would never do anything or leave my house if it weren't for people like you. And I think I know myself enough to know that I've been kind of a colorful character throughout high school for one reason or another. When I was a freshman, I wore a cape to give my student council speech, the same speech in which I told the entire class that when I was in second grade, I had a crush on Luigi from the Mario games. For whatever reason, you guys liked that, and you elected me class secretary, and you've done that for the past 4 years. This is why I think that Hampshire Regional's class of 2020 is so incredible. If someone like me did that in any other school right now, they would be socially ostracized. Even if someone did that at Hampshire Regional 5 years ago, they would be socially ostracized. But you guys not only accepted me with that speech, you praised me and you elected me class secretary. You all gave me something that most disabled people don't get, and that is a normal high school experience. No other class would understand and accommodate me, and no other class would elect me secretary for all 4 years. Thank you so much for accepting this fat autistic kid and not bullying me out of existence like most high schools would. To me, you will always be 119 of the most special people in the world. Thank you and congratulations, graduates. You all more than earned it. And I would now like to introduce Aiden Brostad, a great friend of mine and the class treasurer.
Hello, my name is Aiden Brostad. To the class of 2020, it's been a long and extraordinary 6 years, from school trips to championships for sports, to almost watching Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on Baywatch for our junior stress-free day. We've done it all, we've gone through it all. Our class is something to be remembered. No one else has ever gone through a pandemic such as us. So many classes have struggled even just to graduate. We've done that, we've done more. I want to thank our teachers, who day after day committed to us, gave us online learning, learned resources that they've never had before. They showed us such kindness, such devotion. They wanted us to learn for our AP exams. They wanted us to pass, and they gave us the opportunity to do that. I want to thank our custodial and nursing staff. They were there for us. The custodial staff in one night installed hand sanitizer in the entire school, every single classroom. They worked the entire night, every single one of them, to keep us safe. Our nursing staff were there for us. They were supportive. They were ready. They had procedures in mind and ready to go if something did happen. I'm so thankful to them. I want to thank our administration, who made events such as this possible. They made it so that we were able to graduate. They wanted us to have something special. They didn't want us just to have 30 seconds on a stage, walk past, take our diploma. They wanted something we would remember. They gave us something amazing. They also expanded our senior privileges. This year, I took daily trips to Outlook on my study halls. My bank account has never been lower, and I'm thankful for that. Every single day, I'd get a Mountain Dew, bowl of chili, And I would just send a thank you to Ms. Holtz and Ms. Smitty for everything that they've done. Our school administration, my own father serves on the council. Thank you guys so much. It just means so much to each and every one of us. I want to thank my family in specific. My father for being my inspiration, my mother for pushing me to explore, my sister Lauren for traveling the world for me and paving the way to college, and my little brother for being my best friend and track teammate. I couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you to my grandparents for your nonstop support. I'm so incredibly thankful for the community that we have, our family members, our friends. They were with us every single step of the way. So many good times in and out of class. Those 4 minutes in between class are some of the best times I'll ever remember. I'll always remember the time me and Max just walked by, and every single day after English, we'd give each other a high five. It's moments like that that make me smile, that make me think this is what high school is all about. It's not High School Musical, it's Hampshire Regional High School. Thank you. Up next is an amazing performance from our school chamber singers, led by choral director Aiden Limden.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like the breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads. All my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eyes. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads. I hear a voice in the morning as she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. And driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads, why don't you take me home? Country roads.
It is my pleasure to introduce our class speakers tonight. First, I welcome Ann Curran, the class salutatorian, to the podium.
Good evening. Thank you all for tuning in with us tonight to celebrate the class of 2020. Looking back, it's crazy to think that on March 13th, we spent our final moments at Hampshire as students under one roof, learning together, and we didn't even know it. I've been thinking a lot about how I wish I could go back to that day, that week, that month even, to tell you and to tell our teachers how much I'd miss you all. Unfortunately, time travel has yet to be invented. That being said, here I am, standing in front of you all, well, standing in front of a camera in front of you all and saying my piece.
It's a little funky, to be honest. I never thought I would hate computer-generated frequencies and pixelated depictions as much as I do right now. It's ironic, isn't it? And I certainly never imagined wanting to relive certain moments that occurred within the four walls of the classroom. But now, I just want to see your faces, I just want to hear your voices, even if they're belting sea shanties in the bathroom, and I just want to smile with you, without a 6-foot barrier or computer screen in between. Many people have told our class that we have 20/20 vision for the future, but boy, were they wrong. No one could have seen this coming. If you did, you should probably play the lottery. But these changes and solutions, they are more than just causation and response. It's because of everything that has led to this day that we are carrying on as we are. It's because of our educators, for their endless hours, devotion to understanding, and personal connections have shaped us into the thinkers we currently are. It's because of our administrators, for their creativity and care rise above the call of duty time and time again. It's because of everyone behind the scenes, for their maintenance, sustenance, guidance, and support, foster encouraging, learning communities. And it's because of one another, for our relationships, stories, and knowledge are the driving forces of progress. This is the beauty of education and community. We are processing, we are adapting, we are persisting. But these solutions do not emerge on their own, and I'm standing here before you all as a representative of academic achievement. My fellow graduates and I have been lucky enough to have been raised in environments where we have sufficient access to basic necessities. Unfortunately, though, that is not the case for millions of children around the world. According to UNESCO, over 260 million, or about 20% of adolescents between the ages of 6 and 17, were not in school in 2019. What's more is that this rate changes with national wealth, as only 6% of people aged 15 to 17 living in high-income nations were out of school in 2019, compared to an incredible 59% of the same age group in countries that were considered low income. This is unacceptable. We need to do better, especially for the world's all too often discriminated against female population. Education is a human right. It should never be considered anything less than that. And how do we improve global access to education? By funding instructional institutions, by accommodating students with disabilities, by improving infrastructure, and by adequately compensating our educators. We are lucky enough to learn. It is our responsibility to help those who are not. Fortunately, though, my fellow graduates and I are thankful for the opportunities Hampshire Regional has successfully provided and continues to provide its students. Opportunities that promote growth and prosperity. We would not be standing here or sitting at home watching this if it weren't for their tireless efforts of our remarkable faculty and staff. Thank you to everyone who has gotten us to where we are today and for launching us into our futures. And in the wise words of childhood hero Miley Cyrus, sorry parents, if it makes you feel any better, this was pre-Wrecking Ball. It ain't about how fast I get there, it ain't about what's waiting on the other side, it's the climb. It's certainly cheesy and quite cliche, but it's also relevant. It's not about the end result, the grade, the performance, the score, or even the fact that I'm not actually speaking to you right now and that we're not all together to commemorate such a monumental accomplishment. It's just not. It's about breaking the crossbar of your catapult during final calibration and running around like a chicken to develop a solution. It's about slipping on stage in front of an audience during an adjudicated performance. And it's about army crawling around campus and acting like spies with your best friends at midnight on a school night. It's about making history with your best friends and enjoying uncertainty, because no one knows what the future holds. And with that, I am more than proud to introduce you to an incredible young woman. Not only has she been my academic partner in crime for the past 13 years, but she has also talked me through just about every audition experience and physics concept there is to know. There's no one I'd rather have as the vow to my Sal, and I know that success awaits her at Smith College and beyond. It is my honor to present to you the valedictorian of the class of 2020, Emma Savello.
Welcome, Superintendent Osborne, Principal Smitty, Assistant Principals Holtz and Milch, School Committee members including Chairperson Carl Schlerman and Vice Chair Bill Curran, faculty and staff, parents, graduates, and friends and graduates. Thank you for joining us to recognize and celebrate the class of 2020. I want to take a few minutes to discuss this science experiment that I've been running in quarantine because it relates to our situation as graduates. Over the past 6 weeks, I've been growing different types of cotton seeds in various soils and with different fertilizers, and I'm trying to figure out which species grow the quickest and which soil variant is the best. An important part of this experiment is trying to nurture every seedling so that it can blossom into a healthy adult plant. So over the past 6 weeks, I've been trying to provide each seedling a nurturing environment, and this nurturing environment is what Hampshire Regional has provided us over the past 6 years. Every class has enriched us as people. For example, we became part of a community in math class when we had a snowball fight on the first day of school. It was not a literal snowball fight. Rather, we each wrote 3 obscure facts about ourselves on a piece of paper, and without signing the paper, crumpled it up. Then we tossed all of the snowballs around the room. At the end, we tried to guess who had made each snowball from reading the facts alone. Mr. Petorsky thus welcomed the class by creating a day of excitement and a lasting memory. Over the coming months, he continued to foster this math class community with his respect for each individual class member and his belief in the potential that we each have. Science class gave us the opportunity to learn with our own hands. One of my favorite Hampshire memories was the day that we launched our bottle rockets. A few days before the launch, Mr. Smith told us about a rocket from a bygone year that, despite being launched very far from the parking lot, had taken a fatal turn in midair and traveled across the field before falling through the windshield of a parked car. I will never forget watching one of the rockets from my class go up into the air, get caught in the wind, make the same turn that the bygone rocket must have made, and land again in the parking lot. The thrill that I felt as we sprinted to find out where the rocket landed only added to the existing excitement that I imagine all of us felt as we watched our rockets. Here were contraptions that we had made with our own hands, leaving the earth, deploying parachutes, and carrying chicken eggs to safety. Through hands-on learning, physics class gave us a sense of potential in what we could accomplish. And by the way, our rogue rocket did not smash any cars. In the English hallway, teachers gave their time and energy to support us inside and outside the classroom. I cannot tell how many hours I spent after school with Mrs. Sullivan, exploring the shades of meaning between different words and trying to choose the perfect one to use in a thesis statement. She invested her time so that I could succeed on an essay, and beyond that, so that I would have a more nuanced understanding of language and literature. I cannot tell how many hours I spent after school with Mr. Moynihan revising the essay for my college application. He invested his time so that I could succeed in something that was not immediately related to his class. He invested his time so that I could succeed beyond high school. These one-on-one office hour sessions were not isolated incidents that affected just my life. They are representative of countless other sessions between Hampshire teachers and Hampshire students, and they are a testament to the supportive, nurturing environment that Hampshire Regional has given all of us. Hampshire Regional has given us enrichment, and thus we have become like my cotton seedlings, pushing our way up through the ground and into the world. One of the things I have learned both in Mrs. Seymour's biology classroom and in my cotton experiment is the purpose of a seed. Essentially, it functions as a care package for the developing plant as it carries nutrients and proteins. The seed stays with the young cotton plant for a while as it is attached to the stem, but it inevitably falls off as the young plant's leaves unfurl. At this point, the cotton starts to support itself by performing photosynthesis, turning the sun's light into a form of energy that it can use for the functions of life. We, the graduates, are a lot like these young plants because we, like they, are now reaching toward the light. And so at this point, I'm going to leave the biology classroom because it is not the only class in which we have studied light. Light is a symbol prevalent throughout English class. Light represents Pearl's goodness and happiness in the Scarlet Letter. Light represents the American dream in The Great Gatsby. Unlike Gatsby, we will reach that dream, or that light. We have grown in a nurturing environment thanks to the incredible faculty and staff of Hampshire Regional. For the past 6 years, we have benefited as part of a community and from excitement and individualized attention. We have our roots in the soil, we are shedding our seed casing, and we have the capacity to pursue a bright, light-filled future. I want to say a final thank you to everyone at Hampshire Regional, the teachers, the administration and the staff, and last but not least, my fellow graduates. Thank you for an amazing 6 years. I'm excited for the future, and I will always carry with me the memories of Hampshire Regional.
Please welcome Kate Mesmer, the district's Director of Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment. Before Kate began her work as an English teacher with the district 17 years ago, Kate was an award-winning performing songwriter. She was invited by her first Hampshire class to sing at their graduation, and since then, Kate has been asked by every subsequent graduating class to perform a song of their choosing. Tonight is no exception.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see 'em bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of a rainbow so pretty in the sky are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
At this time, I would like to introduce Associate Principal Holtz, who will lead our presentation of diplomas with Superintendent Osborne and School Committee Chairperson Schlerman, School Committee Vice Chair Curran, and School Committee Member Margaret Larson.
Emma Hamo Savello, valedictorian.
Congratulations, Emma!
Anne Ree Lucy Curran, class president and salutatorian.
Congratulations, Anna!
April Ann Warner, class vice president. Anya Lee McDonald, class secretary. Aiden Albert Corey Brostad, class treasurer. Neil David Adams. Jacqueline Taylor Babiak. Michael Patrick Baldwin. Ruth Barnes. Joseph Robert Bartolucci. Vincent Robert Bartolucci. Mitchell Clay Belden. Ryan Michael Bell. Helen Sophia Bennett. Jacob Andrew Bigelow. Rosa Damaris Bowen. Augusto Miranda Brazil. Hope Ann Brigette. Lindsay Ellen Broder. Holden Zachary Brown in absentia. Victoria Morgan Brunette. Fiona Roisin Bullman. Christian Timothy Butler in absentia. Shane Ryan Callanan. Kobe Michael Clifford. Amanda Renee Coopy. Amelia Lynn Craig. Mark Allen Craig. McAllen Frederick Craig. Spencer Richard Charnicki. Marie Dalton.
Congratulations,
Bridget Victoria Daish.
Congratulations, Bridget.
Morgan Elizabeth Dennis.
Congratulations, Morgan.
Juliana Marie Dickinson.
Congratulations.
Samuel Cedric Domina.
Congratulations.
Sophia Mary Dubois.
Congratulations, Sophia.
Caitlin Sarah Duggan.
Congratulations, Caitlin.
Mary Elizabeth Elias Gillette.
Congratulations, Mary.
Jackson Cassius Fiella. Congratulations. Caleb Charles Farrell, in absentia. Cooper Andrew Fern. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Ashlyn Nicole Fish.
Congratulations.
Jessica Hollis Fish.
Woohoo! Congratulations, Jess.
Ethan John Flamati.
Congratulations, Ethan.
Liam John Galpin.
There it is. Congratulations, Liam.
Giabella Marie Gibson. Naomi Elizabeth Golosinski.
Congratulations, Naomi.
Serena Lee Griswold.
Congratulations.
Ellis Guevara Lemeland. Sarah Ann Gavin. Rebecca Ann Harry.
Congratulations, Rebecca.
Stephen Douglas Henry.
Congratulations, Steven.
Javier Deshawn Hernandez. Congratulations. Lauren Marie Huffnagel.
Congratulations, Lauren.
Ryan Christopher Huffnagel. Zachary Ryan Hurd, in absentia. Alex Colin Johnson.
Congratulations, Alex.
Emily Lydia Johnson.
Congratulations, Emily.
Savannah Eileen Jones.
Congratulations, Savannah.
Maura Catherine Joseph.
Congratulations, Laura.
Bennett Robert Kelly.
Congratulations, Bennett.
Patrick Francis Kelly.
Congratulations, Pat.
Mustafa Iberk Kokaman. Mary Kate Kraus.
Congratulations, Mary.
Sabrina Samantha LeBombard.
Congratulations, Sabrina.
Cade Allen LaChapelle.
Congratulations, Kate.
Julia Mary LaPlante.
Congratulations, Julia.
Eric Michael Larson.
Congratulations, Eric.
Catherine Elizabeth Latka.
Congratulations, Kate.
Dominic Lewinsky.
Congratulations, Dom.
Charles Dean Little.
Congratulations, Charlie.
Kobe Benjamin Loud.
Congratulations, Kobe.
Natalie May Lucier.
Congratulations, Natalie.
Maxwell Cyrus McFadden.
Congratulations, Matt.
Camille Andrea Malo.
Congratulations, Camille.
Liliana Marie Marcil.
Congratulations, Liliana.
Nathaniel Angelo Marks.
Congratulations.
Hannah Ann Marnie.
Congratulations, Hannah.
Julia Mary Elizabeth Matusko.
Congratulations, Julia.
Abigail Kiyomi Kakimoto Munier.
Congratulations, Abby.
Caitlin Olivia Munier.
Congratulations, Caitlin.
Kyle Peter Montague.
Congratulations, Kyle.
Sierra Marie Moulton.
Congratulations, Sierra.
Kaylee Cassandra Murdoch.
Congratulations, Kaylee.
Nora Riley Nato.
Congratulations, Nora.
Michaela Christine Newcomb Gherkin, in absentia. Adrian Roger Nephew.
Congratulations, Adrian.
Andrew Corwin Nichols.
There it is. Congratulations, Andrew.
Alexander Charles Palante.
Congratulations, Alex.
Isabel Lynn Paquette.
Congratulations, Izzy.
Samantha Jean Payson.
Congratulations, Sarah.
Ruby Ann May Phelps.
Congratulations, Ruby.
Rebecca Kim Pierce.
Congratulations, Rebecca.
Jenny Louise Pike.
Congratulations, Jenny.
Jacqueline Christina Plantier.
Congratulations, Jackie.
Hannah Elizabeth Porter.
Congratulations, Hannah.
Matthew Allen Quenneville.
Congratulations, Hannah.
Raymond Brian Rendano.
Congratulations, Ray.
Lily Eloise Brosher.
Congratulations, Lily.
Nicholas Kistenmacher Scheibel.
Congratulations, Nick.
Nicole Schott.
Congratulations, Caleb.
Mason James Seacard.
Nice job, Mason. Congrats.
Alexis Jordan Starkin.
Congratulations, Alexis.
Olivia Marie Stroney.
Congratulations, Olivia.
Catherine Ann Taylor.
Congratulations, Katie.
Alexander James Tilton.
Congratulations, Alex.
Katrina Marjorie Touchette.
Congratulations, Katrina.
Gideon Elias Touchette. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Gideon.
Connor J. Twarog.
Congratulations, Connor.
Michael Urbanik.
Congratulations, Michael.
Ricardo Martinez Utrera.
Congratulations, Ricardo.
Christopher Todd Vida.
Congratulations, Todd.
Connor Scott Whalen.
Congratulations, Connor.
Aiden Michael White.
Congratulations, Aiden.
Mason Joseph Willard.
Congratulations, Jason.
Elias Thomas Yaros.
Congratulations,
Jacqueline Rita Young.
Congratulations, Jack.
Alexander Richard Zimmerman.
Congratulations, Alex.
Victoria Ann Zanoni.
Congratulations, Vicky. I would now like to introduce your class president, Annie Curran, who will lead the class of 2020 in the ceremonial tassel turn and share some closing remarks.
Thank you, Principal Smitty. Hi, everyone. Long time no see. But in all seriousness, I miss you all, and I'm sure you miss each other immensely. Despite all the chaos we've endured this past year, mass forest fires, a global pandemic, murder hornets, the whole 9 yards, we finally made it. We are graduating. I'll admit it though, with everything that's been going on, I have taken a few strolls down memory lane by indulging in a guilty pleasure of mine. One that involves digging through the archives of our childhood. There's so much to discover about recent history. from health and environmental developments to stylistic trends and even institutional violence and corruption. The opportunities are infinite. But the stories I've found and relived are a little sweeter than that. Here's a little bit of what I've learned. On March 18th, 2005, two twin brothers who had recently moved to Boston with their mother notably struggled to befriend other students at their new school. After initially trying and failing to insert themselves into a self-named clique of popular boys, they found themselves two uniquely independent friends in their classmates Max and Tapeworm. Other students at the school, however, soon learned that the twins lived in a lavish apartment with wealthy members of society. The twins immediately became absorbed by the notorious Drew crew and abandoned their previous friendships. As this was going on, the manager of the twins' residence enlisted an extraordinarily intelligent Candy Girl to teach a mockingly simple-minded socialite in an attempt to improve her academic performance. On March 24th, 2006, two high school students attended a concert for a young international pop sensation whose father was also a musical star. After the performance, die-hard fan Lily Truscott snuck into the celebrity's dressing room in an attempt to meet her idol. It was at that moment that Lily realized the artist's true identity, her best friend. Unsurprisingly, this recognition prompted a fight over whether or not the singer should reveal her secret to the girls' school in Malibu. The star's socially unknowledgeable brother Jackson, meanwhile, attempted to capitalize on his connections with the singer in order to impress his current love interest. And on October 12, 2007, young New Yorker Alex Russo faced a moral dilemma between two concurring events. Should she go to a crazy 10-minute sale to buy a coveted jacket before her nemesis could? Or should she attend her homeschooling lesson instead? Rather than make a decision, Alex decided to clone herself in order to be at both places simultaneously. Her plan appeared to succeed until her clone ultimately exposed her use of magic and prompted her parents to find her at the store. Now, if your childhood was filled with avidly watching and obsessing over Disney Channel just as mine was, I'm confident that you've realized by now that I wasn't talking about history. Alternatively, I was summarizing the pilot episodes of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Hannah Montana, and Wizards of Waverly Place. Now, if you're anything like me, I bet you've pictured yourself as a character within those shows, or really in any other television program or movie for that matter. It's always so entertaining to imagine ourselves manipulating preset storylines and possessing magical powers that allow us to do anything. It's an escape from the monotony of daily life. In reality, though, we can change the course of our lives with a stroke of imagination and dedication, and every dream is a possibility. We are the future faces of medicine, of business, of politics, and of everything else life holds. We are the world, and we are more capable than we think. Do not let anyone tell you anything different. As exciting and promising as that reality is, though, we must first leave our most comfortable years in our personalities and in the past to allow for new adventures and lessons to shape our futures. If you happen to follow the previously mentioned TV shows while they were on the air, or even if you're catching up on them now, you know how they end. Spoiler alert for anyone who's currently watching or plans on it. Zack and Cody graduated aboard the SS Tipton, much like we're doing now. Miley revealed that she's Hannah Montana and became in college with Lily, and Alex became the family wizard. 6 years later, and they were all done. Now it's our turn. Graduates, please rise. By turning our tassels, we turn to a new page in our lives. We cease to be high school seniors and instead become citizens of the world. Graduates, please join me in turning your tassels from the right side to the left to officially signify our successful completion of high school. Family, friends, staff, and guests, it is my honor to present to you Hampshire Regional High School's newly graduated class of 2020. And with that, you have become the director of your show. No one can change that. Leaving high school is certainly daunting, but you are not alone. There are 119 of us all directing our lives separately, but together. We will always be here in the familiarity of the past as your biggest supporters and most avid viewers, navigating life alongside you as we form our own futures. And hey, if you need it, even The Sweet Life, Hannah Montana, and Wizards of Waverly Place had a crossover episode. 3 of them, to be exact. We will always be here as your classmates, ready for our paths to cross once again. We have learned alongside one another, we have grown with one another, and we have developed into the people we currently are because of one another. Now it's time to part from one another. Shoot! Thanks for doing high school with me. It's an honor to have been your president. This has been the class of 2020, signing off. Thought I was gonna make it through.
Hi everybody, I'm Dave Mattson. My congratulations to all of you, the Hampshire Regional High School class of 2020. You know, you're leaving high school and heading off to college or some other great adventure in very uncertain times. But don't let that discourage you or hold you back in any way in pursuing your dreams. Be happy in whatever you do and wherever life takes you. You know, if the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us anything, it's to never take anything or anyone for granted. Cherish your friends and your family. Again, my congratulations to all of you. Let's face it, if you can make it through times like this, you know you can make it through anything.
Congratulations, HRHS class of 2020. Nick Anthony here, coming to you all from Los Angeles, California. I graduated from Hampshire in 2006, and shortly following my graduation from Quinnipiac in 2010, I made the move out here to the West Coast, which was a dream I had had since I made my first visit at the age of 12. And that's something I wanted to talk a little about with you all today. The importance of dreams. We can't always control the events and the circumstances of our lives, but we can always control how we react and the choices we make to respond. As difficult and as unfair as the world seems right now, I want to remind you all that you still have the ability to create the lives you want for yourselves and for your futures by the choices you make every day. And if there's one choice I'd like to encourage all of you to consciously continue to make, especially right now, it's the choice to dream. No great success story has ever started with any other action. So keep dreaming and dream big. I promise, take my word for it, it's worth it and it works. I wish you all the absolute best as you embark on this new adventure. Good luck, and once again, congratulations.
Class of 2020, congratulations on your graduation. My name is Teddy Forrence. I'm a professional dancer, choreographer, and teacher out here in Los Angeles now. I grew up in Southampton, went to HRHS, played on the soccer team, and just love the school, love growing up there. I know this time right now is challenging and probably really daunting. I remember being your age and already having certain feelings about moving away from home and all these different things that can happen. And I just want to let you know that perseverance and hard work pays off. Find your passion and dive in. Give it everything that you possibly have and enjoy the process. What makes a moment special, I think, is what it takes to get there. So, like I said, find your passion and go with it. Give it your all. Sending all my love. See you guys soon.
Congratulations, seniors. This is State Senator Adam Hines, and I wanted to add my congratulations to you and what you're going through. And I have to say, graduations can always be memorable, but I think you might have the most memorable graduation that any of us have ever heard of or witnessed or been a part of. So you'll always have that as part of your memory of this great accomplishment that you've achieved together. I'd say there's a lesson it probably took me 20 years after graduating from high school to realize, which is you may have a plan for the next week or month or year, or an idea of what you want to do next for your job, but you may encounter obstacles and get sidetracked or come across challenges. And quite frankly, that seems like an interesting description, an accurate description of where we are right now. Yet I am a firm believer that you end up where you're meant to be. And so this remains a reminder to be flexible, roll with the punches. And I do hope that most of all, you're there for your classmates, the ones you were close with throughout school, and maybe even some that you rarely talked with. I think we could all use a little extra connection. So congratulations to all of you, and I really look forward to being in touch when we get on the other side of all of this craziness.
We need you, class of 2020. The people that are in charge right now, well, they don't have all the answers. Our world needs your courage and creativity to lead us to a better future. Not just back to the same old, same old. Remember that the power of the people is more important than the people in power. And I hope you use your power to uplift and inspire our community. Congratulations, Hampshire Regional High School class of 2020.